Well, what if we share a different destiny? Something a little more scorched earth. Shock and awe. Blood and bone. I'll suck it, please. I'll do anything. You want me to eat shit? I'll eat your shit.
Nerdrotic.com.
Greetings, you over 1 million practitioners of common sense and the 40% who haven't subscribed yet. The Boys series on Amazon has finally come to an end, or as some might say, it's been put out of its misery.
This. Fuck off.
Just over a month ago, The Boys creator Eric Kripke told The Hollywood Reporter that he was anxious about the fan reaction to the final episode, and now we all know why. That anxiety was justified.
A lot of shows outsmart themselves, and they say, the audience really wants this, so we're not going to give it to them. And, and then everyone ends up super disappointed. And I live in terror of that.
Oh, bollocks.
Eric Kripke on how he's girding his loins for the season 5 finale. Well, I hope he was wearing a cup. Oh, and we will certainly get to the dizzying parallels between our current political reality and all the stuff they conveniently left out. The Hollywood Reporter asks him in this April 7th article, what most excites you about the final season of The Boys? Excites is the wrong word. What makes me most anxious about the final season is really hoping we land the plane. It's super hard to do a finale. Fans will retroactively judge the show based on how they feel about the finale. If we stiff it, they will definitely say, well, that show wasn't as good as we thought it was. Prophetic words, because lo and behold, that's exactly what's happening right now. The comparisons are already out there with the Game of Thrones finale, the Stranger Things finale, and now the Boys finale. Thing is, 2 of those finales came this year, but at least Game of Thrones was good for a few seasons and Stranger Things was good for a couple of seasons. Some may or may not agree with that, and that's fair, but let's be real, The Boys hasn't been good since season 1. Now, the point I was out came in season 2 when they did the girls get it done thing and then went on to do the thing they just mocked, when the girls got it done by beating the crap out of the gender swap from the comic Stormfront, because women can be Nazis too.
So revolutionary, it's so bold and so brilliant.
But that was only the beginning with this show that is a satirical parody that became a parody of itself, including but not limited to, in no particular order, spinning off the Boys universe into the VCU, the VOT cinematic universe. Never mind that it's not cinematic, and of course people are going to say, don't you get it, they're leading into the joke. Yeah, by becoming the joke. Starting with Gen V, which was supposed to be the heir apparent, unfortunately nobody watched and it was canceled. Then there's the VOT Rising prequel featuring Soldier Boy, which much of season 5 of The Boys was sacrificed to set up, and The Boys Mexico. The only problem with this expansion is The Boys TV series was, and always will be about Homelander, who's dead now, along with the show and, yes, the VOT cinematic universe. Because showrunner Eric Kripke thought it was a much better idea to forego and sacrifice any of the twists and turns and complexity from Garth Ennis's comics to give us 5 seasons of Homelander as Trump, get it?
When we first pitched the show, it was before Trump was elected. And the idea that a celebrity would actively want to turn themselves into a fascist autocrat was kind of a crazy idea. I mean, it still is, but it turned out to have happened. But we sort of lucked into whose metaphor is really about the moment we're living in, which is the cross-section of celebrity and authoritarianism. And so, once we realized that, we're like, well, we have to go all the way. And so every season we've just pushed it.
I'm the Homelander, and I can do whatever the I want.
And unsurprisingly, for the 5th season in a row, the boys are spending their time trying to figure out a way to kill Homelander, who, after the events of season 4, not only has aspirations to run the country, now he wants to be a god.
I'm the Messiah. I'm the savior of the world.
A season many of the fans who hung on were calling filler, which is an accurate description. A redundant multiple MacGuffin chase enclosed in a mystery box. And we all know what's inside of that.
Let's see what's in the box! Nothing!
So after spending a season finding out whether or not the MacGuffin superhero virus actually works on just superheroes, all while trying to prevent Homelander getting the other MacGuffin, V1, which will make him immortal, leaning into the trademark ripping people in half constantly or excessive talks about buttholes, including bringing back Paul Reiser's The Legend to talk about eating buttholes.
So, Geisha told me to eat her golden ass.
I dined at that establishment back in '78, and the service was great.
Or superheroes sniffing buttholes, and an entire season of the audience just trying to figure out what Starlight is saying that has nothing to do with all the plastic surgery the actress said she didn't have.
Why haven't you tried to spring them before? Why next character you meet fat?
And ladies, please don't do that to yourselves. We get to a season finale which can be best described as a fart in the wind. And sticking with the theme of anuses, we open up the finale with Frenchie's funeral, where they're reading his last will and testament where he talks about buttholes.
I do have something to give you. The knowledge that I've seen each and every one of your assholes.
Excuse me?
In this episode called Blood and Bone, which is a callback to a conversation Butcher and Homelander had earlier in the series, where I'm sure many were wondering who lives and who dies as the chess pieces come together in this big fantastic ending. And since we're so far off the comics anyway, we might actually see some scorched earth. Well, sorry, spoilers. Instead of scorched earth, think stained carpet and most everybody survives. Now, A-Train was killed earlier on in the season, and the aforementioned Frenchie was killed in the penultimate episode, but of the prominent characters, everyone's still around, and guess what they need to do? Find a way to kill Homelander, who, thanks to Soldier Boy handing him the V1, is now immortal. Essentially, the plot is the remaining boys have to infiltrate the White House, and they get some help from a conscience-stricken Ashley Barrett in the last minute so they can prevent Homelander from giving his speech announcing his divinity.
You deserve a god who doesn't die. A god who fights back. A god you can believe in.
One of the biggest of many flaws of this show is Homelander's godhood and actually convincing people to believe it. It may or may not have helped to make him immortal in the first episode instead of him running around with Soldier Boy so you could do a soft pilot for another series, instead of him being immortal for just 2 episodes. And that probably would have helped showrunner Eric Kripke, big Trump fan by the way, avoid the mountain of criticism he is deservedly getting for it feeling contrived and rushed, because that's exactly what it is. And that's why I believe him when he says it's almost like you're trying to secure your legacy with these finales. Well, the show's legacy, and unfortunately, it will affect your legacy too, because you don't get to choose that. Life will choose it for you. And it's the first finale I've ever done too, so it's not like I have any experience with it. And it shows because, again, this finale is essentially the boys trying to stop a speech where Homelander is trying to convince a public who doesn't believe him that he is a god. Now, he does eventually go off script and says he's going to crush all you puny humans. And it's at that point where Butcher, Kamiko, and Deus Ex Ryan come in and have a big battle in the Oval Office live on television. We're in front of God and everybody. Homelander is depowered by Kamiko, humiliated, offers to suck Butcher's D, and brutally murdered. Oh, and we'll get back to that in just a minute. But just like the rest of season 5, and let's just call it this entire series, it was just a waste of your valuable time. And as far as the character resolution is concerned, if that's what you want to call it, it's abysmal. We'll start with Sister Sage, the smartest woman in the world.
Oh, jeez.
Who helped replicate the Soldier Boy radiation experiments on Kamiko so she can have new powers to take other people's powers. Wonder where they're going with that one? Well, the first test is taking Sister Sage's powers, which works, and Sister Sage, who was the dumbest, smartest person alive I've ever seen in any TV show or film, just becomes the dumbest person alive.
I'm stupid like you guys.
Obviously.
And despite all of the people she murdered or put in prison camps, she's allowed to walk free because she's a diverse woman in a Hollywood production, and we can't have them taking accountability for anything.
They'll never know what you sacrificed for them.
Speaking of diverse women, all of you who watched that Gen V series, how'd you like your big payoff where they were told to move to Canada? Oh, father was killed by a gift that was given to him by his president wife, Ashley Barrett, a turbine-grade titanium ball gag reinforced with ballistic Kevlar straps that somehow Mother's Milk knew what it was, recognized what it could do, and put in No Father's mouth.
I really need a new job.
The Deep who survives the comics doesn't survive the show. After an Alaskan pipeline disaster that killed billions of fish that was blamed on him, he was banished from the ocean, and after a fight with Starlight, he's pushed into the ocean, where somehow this superhero with super strength, super healing ability, and is bulletproof is killed by an octopus. Well, that's going to start that power scaling argument again that the media literate crowd says is unnecessary. Then there's Billy the Butcher, played by the great Carl Urban, who can call people a cunt better than anybody I've seen in Hollywood, but even that gets a little old.
Because all you can say is oi, 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 cunt, cunt, cunt.
Liked it better with a mouth shut.
Well, after killing Homelander, being rejected by Homelander's son Ryan, and Terror, his dog, dying of old age, which is the only time you might feel anything concerning the show aside from complete boredom and disgust, Butcher decides all the superheroes need to die, and he's going to wait until they're all in the Vought building, put the virus in the sprinkler system, and kill them all until he's stopped by Huey and killed by Huey, which is exactly how it doesn't happen in the comics aside from the act of Huey killing Butcher. Sorry, spoilers. In the comics, the big twist is Black Noir is a clone of Homelander who did all the horrific acts that were pinned on Homelander, and then Black Noir kills Homelander, and then Butcher kills Black Noir. He also kills Frenchie, Mother's Milk, and the female, or the female of the species, who was renamed to Kamiko for the show for agency or some shit. Anyway, Butcher dies at the hands of Huey, but unlike in the comics where he manipulates him and dies with a smile on his face, in the show he dies crying and portrayed as a hero, where in the comics he was the villain. Carl Urban is great and everything, but unfortunately his Butcher got lost in the Anthony Starr sauce of Homelander. As far as the rest of the characters go, President Ashley Barrett refuses to resign or accept any accountability for her actions. Sound familiar? But then the boys subverts our expectations and forces her to accept accountability for her actions. Giancarlo Esposito playing Stan Edgar as Giancarlo Esposito, because nobody plays Giancarlo Esposito like Giancarlo Esposito, is reinstated as Vought CEO. Kamiko, who now has Soldier Boy's powers, and the biggest mistake with her this season was allowing her to talk, moves to France. Mother's Milk gets married, and I guess he's going to be the stepfather to Ryan. And Starlight and Huey settled down to work at Campbell Audio Visual and live in peace. After aborting his first child, Starlight has decided to keep this one, which will obviously be a superhero, and then go into battle pregnant, because women going into battle pregnant is a Hollywood fetish at this point.
Did you me?
What?
Is this some kind of incest thing?
No!
What about Soldier Boy? I have no idea. They put him in stasis and we never see him again. But the main man who did all the heavy lifting was Anthony Starr, and I think my good friend Mahler put it best. Anthony Starr is the reason the boys survived. He made Kripke's shitty writing feel purposeful. His passion in every scene, with every meme-worthy expression, convinced the audience there was far more substance, only for the finale to leave you looking back with near nothing. Excellent actor. Hope he gets better opportunities. Couldn't have said it better myself. That's why I didn't. Now let's go back to that final battle in the Oval Office, which was one of the most contrived I've ever seen put to screen. Homelander had multiple opportunities to either escape or defeat his enemies. There's a scene earlier on in the episode with some real subtle messaging. Not sure if you caught it, but there is a character that's supposed to be Elon Musk.
I'm a disruptor. I disrupt.
He's portrayed as the richest man in the world, an amateur astronaut, and worried about white birth rates. To get rid of him, Homelander flies him into space to become an astronaut, returns in a matter of seconds. But he spends the Oval Office battle dicking around with 3 people he could kill easily. Why not fly behind Kamiko and rip her heart out?
It's just a bunch of dumb motherfuckers, right?
Eric Kripke has said he purposefully wanted him to look weak at the end, and he certainly did. Only problem is, it was obvious he was nerfed by the script. Also, Eric Kripke could visualize his rage fantasy against a president. But unfortunately, in the end, all Homelander is a caricature within a political satire that goes after one side with a tactical nuke and the other side with a water pistol. In a show that was supposed to be a parody that became a parody of itself, the joke went on too long, and ultimately, the joke was on the audience. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, I thank you for listening this long. I will see you in the next video.
Nerdrotic.com